Morning, everybody. Beautiful morning here in Columbus. Pretty warm for the season. And actually, I'm at a different park trying it out. It's got a little walkway. You can kind of see it behind me. But it gets wet, it gets slippery. So you might hear me shuffling every once in a while so I don't fall. Thanks for joining my channel. Oh, there's Annie right there running around in the woods. Thanks for joining my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Okay? And today, we're going to talk. I got a question for you at the beginning. Okay? This is different. The question is, what does the movie Titanic, President George W. Bush, and Megadeth, the thrash heavy metal band, all have in common? I'll let you know at the end of this segment, okay? Thanks for joining again, where I talk about mental health being spiritual health. I'm not a pastor. I get a lot of my stuff from Our Daily Bread booklet, which you can get at ourdailybread.org. And I'm also not a doctor or a therapist, but I can help you change your mind or the baseline of how you feel. So if you have anxiety, depression, PTSD, I can teach you how to train your mind to overcome that and to wake up one day with a baseline of being happy. So reach out to me, okay? I know I can help you. All right. Well, today we're talking about courage from the shepherd, and we're going to be in Psalm 23. Psalm 23. I know a lot of you have heard this, I'm sure. And we're going to pick verse 1, okay, as the key verse. Here it is. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Now, let's see, where's Annie? She's way out there. Some of you may have heard the translation from a different version. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yeah, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, or I lack nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about a Texas A&M football kicker. They were playing the number one team in the country 3 years ago, Alabama, right? They're a perennial powerhouse. And there was 2 seconds left in the game. It was 38-38. And the kicker, Seth Small, came out to kick the game-winning field goal in front of their home crowd of about 107,000 people. It was the second largest crowd in the history of Texas A&M. So you can imagine the pressure on the field goal kicker to make this kick and beat the number one team in the country. Well, he did. He made it. And the interesting thing is, they asked him afterward, the media did, because the crowd went bananas and flooded the field, and it just, everyone went crazy. But when he asked, how did he prepare for such an intense moment, such as that, and you're standing out there and the game's on the line, and you're the one who could win the game for your team against the number one team in front of your home crowd of 107,000 people. And he said he kept repeating to himself over and over again, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. That's pretty cool. And I talk about it a lot on this channel, right? The number one thing that God tells us in the Bible is do not fear or do not be afraid or do not be anxious, right? Now you can imagine the anxiety that Seth Small had going out there to kick that field goal to win the game for his team with 2 seconds left. But he did what the Apostle Peter tells us to do. In his first letter, chapter 5, verse 7, Peter says, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you, because he loves you. God doesn't want us to be anxious. He doesn't want us to be fearful. That's why he says that the most anywhere in the Bible. And that's what Seth Small did. And that's what we can do too, all day long when something pops up that troubles us, or that we're fearful of, or that we're anxious about, or we're nervous about something. There's some challenge that we need to do that we haven't done in the past. Well, we can overcome that. We can overcome that. And I like how God tells us that over and over and over again. It's just a reminder that he's always with us, and the good shepherd, which he is a shepherd, he's always with us, and he's always walking with us. We're the sheep, and he's our shepherd, guiding us. Now, here are the questions for today. First question: how have you experienced God as a loving shepherd? How have you experienced God as a loving shepherd? The second question: how did his trustworthy care give you courage? How did his trustworthy care give you courage? Well, for me, how have you experienced God as a loving shepherd? Well, when I was wrought with anxiety and depression and possibly PTSD, he helped me. So that's what I did, was I prayed to him every morning, and that's what I can help you do too, and change your brain, change the baseline of how you feel. So I know firsthand, and I experienced it, how he can take away my anxiety. Okay? And that doesn't mean I still don't take medications. That still does help. But the baseline feeling of my mind and my being changed. So I know that he can do that for you. And for all of us, actually. The second question: how did his trustworthy care give you courage? Well, I don't want to say I don't really care what happens to me in this world, but I don't really care so much anymore because I know where I'm going afterward too, right? Because I accepted Jesus as my Savior, so whatever happens to me, even if something happens to me on the way back to my home afterward, and I never make it, I know if I die, I know where I'm going. So nothing bothers me, really. Things frustrate me and stuff like that, but I just have to remember the big picture and always take courage from the shepherd. And I hope you guys do too. Now let me go back to my first question at the beginning. Annie, where are you? I hope this is fenced in. I would assume that this is fenced in. Annie, come on. I have no clue where she is. Okay, back to the first question. What is the movie The Titanic, President George W. Bush, and Megadeth, thrash heavy metal band, all have in common? Well, they've all quoted this psalm, Psalm 23. It's in the movie The Titanic when the ship was going down. President George W. Bush used it when he addressed our country, the United States, after the 9/11 attacks. And Megadeth, the thrash metal band that sounds evil and satanic, really isn't, because their lead singer and guitarist is actually a born-again Christian. And 2 years after he became a Christian, he wrote a song that used every verse, every word of this psalm, Psalm 23. It's pretty cool. It sounds really sinister, but it's not. So it's really interesting. The movie The Titanic, very popular. President George W. Bush and Megadeth all use this psalm. They're all taking courage from the shepherd. And I encourage you to do the same today. If you have any if you're entering into any uncertain situation, just remember the Lord is your shepherd and you lack nothing. Have a great day. I've got to go look for Annie. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.